Hello, all you positive heads. Welcome to a very special episode dedicated to none other than you, the P-heads themselves. I am your P-head enthusiast and hostess for the day, Alexa Hauser. I have been blessed to have the experience of helping out with Positive Head social media for the better part of a year. And through my digital interactions, I began to realize, as did Brandon, that we have some incredible beings listening to the show who are taking the information that Brandon puts out through the podcast and using it to transform their lives and create wonderful things. You listeners are all a huge, huge part of the life force that propels this show forward through time and space, and we think it's time to bring forth some of you beautiful reflections and delve a little deeper into this collection of energy that is the Positive Head community. So as we shine the spotlight on our listeners, what we'll have them do is share their stories of how they attracted Positive Head into their life, the transformation it's facilitated for them, and what they're focused on creating now that they're in a more positive headspace. Also, this episode of the Positive Head podcast is being brought to you thanks to the support of Gaia. If you're not familiar, Gaia is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content online. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out. Hello, all you positive heads. On this week's P-Head Posse episode, our guest is Kasia Boczniewicz. Kasia is an intuitive artist who is on a personal journey of growth, developing her muscle of self-love to shine a light for others as she continues along her path. Hi, Kasia. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Alexa. Thanks for having me here. I'm so excited.
Oh my God, I'm so excited because I know that you have so much love and joy and good vibes to share, and it's kind of an honor to have you on today because you've actually been a really good friend of mine for the past several months, and we connected essentially through this show. So, yep. Welcome.
Thanks.
Cool. Well, as we do with, all guests, all P-heads, love to start with, your story, just a little bit about what your life has been like and what your journey's been like up until this point.
Okay, so my life up until now has been a crazy roller coaster ride. A lot of ups and downs, hella growing pains, all good stuff. I came here, I was born in Poland. I came here in 99. I had a great childhood, if you ask me. I loved growing up in Poland. It was awesome. I lived in the mountains, so I was outside all the time, playing in the woods. That's my go-to happy place. Came here and it was a complete freaking culture shock. Now that I look back at it, I'm pretty sure I was depressed for a good chunk of my life without even realizing it. A few months ago, I cracked down on where my trust issues came from, which is actually from my parents bringing me here because they told me I was going to summer camp in Germany. And next thing I know, I'm on a plane to America without saying bye to my friends. And 20 years later, I'm still here. So, yeah, that's fine.
Wow.
Yeah. But, it's all good. Definitely depressed, definitely learned a lot. But now as I'm kind of getting into the more awakened, conscious state of my life, I'm realizing that I chose all those damn experiences. I'm not quite sure why I chose them all, but I definitely picked this ride. So, I kind of have a different perspective on everything. But I would say right when I was about 25 is when I had my first, oh my God, I think I'm waking up. That's the first time I read The Secret, and then all these that started connecting, and I was I realized that we make life so much harder for ourselves than it really is, and it's so freaking simple, but the simplicity of it scares the shit out of us. I'm sorry, am I allowed to? I'll censor myself. Sorry. But
on my podcast, yes, I don't know about this part.
Sorry, Brandon. I'll censor myself, I promise. But so, when I was 25, I remember the day specifically. It was actually Friday the 13th. And my mom always told me that, like, oh, Friday the 13th, like the superstition, that's so bad, da 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 da. But I was like, why does it have to be bad? Like, it can be good. We can look at it in a positive way. So that's the day I went to Barnes and Noble. Something just in me told me to like buy The Secret. I bought that. My mind was blown. And then I came home and I arrived to a new car in my driveway. And a fun fact like about that, it was about when I was in college and I was about to graduate, and I told myself, I was like, I don't know how, but before I graduate or right after I graduate, I'm going to have an Audi A3. And literally that Friday the 13th, I came home and my dad's like, oh, by the way, we're getting rid of your old Nissan. Here's your new Audi A3. And I was like, what?
Wow.
Like, oh my God, it's happening. Like, it's happening. I'm manifesting. This is all real. And like, ever since then, it's been definitely like a crazy, fun joyride of just manifesting and kind of playing with the universe, I guess. Just realizing that everything's a choice and I choose positivity no matter how crazy and messed up things were in the past. I'm not going to blame anybody for anything. I chose all this. I choose to be happy. I get scrutinized for it, and I'm told that I'm like living in the clouds or whatever, but that's okay. Everybody's just hating because they're not on my level, and I'm just here to like shine my light and show them a better way of living, I guess, through my crazy journey. So yeah, in a nutshell, a little bit. Yeah.
Cool. And I'm just curious, like, going back a little bit, you moving here from Poland, like, what was that like for you?
Probably the scariest life change ever. Because, okay, so in Poland, in 4th grade, it's mandatory that you start learning English. So I kind of knew a little bit of English, but it was more so of like the England proper way of speaking it. So like, I won't really say 20, I'll say 20. And like, I'll get really proper with things sometimes. Yeah. So when I came here, I basically didn't know English. So whenever I'd be like interacting with somebody, I would just go off their vibes and their energy, which now that I look back at it, it really helps me like engage with people in a whole different energetic level because I still go off the vibes. So like you could be saying one thing, but like your vibes are saying something completely different to me. So like that's one lesson now I see that I learned then. But yeah, no, 5th grade was horrible. Like I started in 5th grade, and I remember the first semester, like my first few days, like I would just come home crying, and I would like message all my friends and like email them like, start a fundraiser, get a ticket, get me back home, blah 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 blah. Like, oh my God, my grades were horrible. Like I had no friends. And then second semester, plot twist, like I've got all A's and B's. My teachers were so awesome. They created like this pen pal system with like my friends in Poland, like kind of like integrate like everybody, and like so everybody learns about my culture while I learn about everybody else's. And yeah, it's been smooth sailing since then. So yeah, well, it's smooth in a way, but you know. Yeah.
Well, it's really interesting, like what you were just saying about, you know, the thing that was like so scary for you, like you feeling like you didn't know the language, like it actually trained you to pick up, to read people in a different way. Like I think that's so interesting how like our gifts, like our intuitive gifts, you know, they actually like come out through like traumas, essentially.
Oh my God, 100%. Yeah. I think that's the only way we truly like learn our gifts, because we have, I guess the one thing I'm realizing is you have to go through the darkness to be able to appreciate and actually see the light. So you got to go through them growing pains. Otherwise, you're just going to be stagnant, stuck in the same spot in like the rat race of life, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did you find Positive HeAd?
Actually, it found me just like everything else. Shout out to my girl Nayo. She hooked me up with it. She just like called me one day and she's like, Kasia, I have this podcast. I've been listening to it and I just need to tell you about it, and just pick an episode, like just think of a number and like pick an episode and that's going to speak to you and you're going to be hooked. And like literally that's how I've been hooking people from that. So I found that about like 2 years ago, like 2 Aprils ago, something like that. Yeah.
Wow. So you played the game with the universe.
Yeah, I did.
Do you remember what episode you got?
No, I have no idea.
Do you remember what it was about the podcast that like hooked you? Brandon's voice.
Like literally like his intro, and I was just like, and then like the little song, and I was like, oh my God, yes, I love you too. I don't even know you. Like, I love you too. I have no words, but it just like felt right. I was like, yes, this is it.
Totally. I resonate with that too. I remember, I found it. It's funny because I actually found it through Brandon was on someone else's podcast, and the other person's podcast he was on, I don't even know. Like, it was so random whose podcast he was on, but I found it through searching Positive, but it didn't bring up Positive Head podcast. It brought up his interview on someone else's podcast. And I felt the same way. As soon as I heard his voice, I was like, who is this guy? Like, there's something about him and so unique. Like, what's his deal? And he's so happy. Like,
Yep. I think honestly, like the energy of his like voice like hooked me. I was like, yep, this is, I can listen to this all the time. Yeah. Bring it. More episodes, please.
Bring it. Well, there's no shortage of those. So, cool. So so you gave us like your backstory and then finding Positive Head. So what's been happening with you recently? What have you been up to?
Well, actually, to shout out your podcast, because through Positive Head is how I met you and Inner Bloom, and that completely that found me in a dark spot. Like I was in a dark spot at that point. Like I was having issues with the relationship I was in for like 5 years. And like literally as I found Inner Bloom and like I listened to that voice screaming your name to like reach out to you, which I thought I was crazy for, because I was like, I don't know this girl. Like, why would I even reach out to her? But I did. And now we're friends. So I love the universe. Through that, it kind of gave me something positive to focus on, to kind of like put that creative energy in and like realize that everything's okay. And then like all these like synchronicities started happening. And then the first Inner Bloom retreat, that was amazing and mind blowing and completely like changed my perspective on things and like helped me. I feel like it was the first time in a very, very long time I like 100% felt like my authentic self. And I was just like on such an amazing like high, just like filled with love, that I was like, oh my God, I'm the light. I was like, I'm going to be my beautiful butterfly and shine my light to everybody else. Like, this is it. This is what I want to do. And then I came home and it was just like back to like all the crap. And I was like, I need my chrysalis girls. Like, where's everybody? But yeah, so that started happening. And then, a lot of also like things with like family happened. So my mom actually, she had breast cancer about 14 years ago. And around the time, like around April, when I started listening to Positive Head, her cancer came back again. And through that, I also like found Purium, which also is like another part of my positivity and like what I deem my trifecta of balance, my body, mind, and soul. So like I had my mind going, it was positive. I knew something had to happen with my body in order for my soul to catch up to my mind, so everything's balanced. And then Purium happened because my mom refused to do chemo, and that's cool. We can find other ways. So we found Purium for a complete lifestyle change. So that definitely like reset me, and I thought it was going to be more of like a physical reset, but it was like a 100% a mental reset. So that helped. Then magically manifested a trip to Hawaii and met Dohana there and everybody. And yeah, now I like also manifested a raise and I got promoted at work. So like literally this was like 10 months now. I feel like in the past 10 months of helping, like knowing you and like listening to Positive Head and Inner Bloom, I've like rebirthed myself. So yeah, like I'm a completely different person than I was like 10 months ago. So it's pretty wild. It is wild because I have seen you in that time. And I mean, I think we all have, I know I've changed a lot in that time too, but like, it's really wild because I remember the first time we talked. And it literally, when I think back on that memory, it feels like I was talking to a different person. And it's so cool. Like, I think one of the greatest gifts in the world, which is why I think that anyone who's attracted to this community or this type of work, like personal development, healing, and anyone who's like working in this field, right, of spirituality or personal development or guiding or coaching or anything like that, it's like the best, coolest thing in the entire world is to just see somebody else like blossoming and like you're saying, like rebirthing yourself. Like truly just to witness that is like a miracle. And as I'm saying it, I'm like, oh wow, that must be what like watching someone
being born is like, or someone giving birth to someone else. It's like, it's probably only a fraction of what that's like. But I mean, the fraction itself is so incredible that it's just like, wow. Cause here's what's coming into my mind. Like, you're seeing someone truly recreate themselves. And when I say recreate and when I say create, I mean it in the terms of like creation, like alchemy, like you're like an alchemist, right? You're transmuting things, and it's magic. You're watching magic happen.
Yeah. Like, I'm literally realizing that like I am magic, and I'm here to show others that magic is real. And like, that's the one thing with like, I'm going to circle back to that relationship that I was with. As hard as that was to kind of like go our separate ways, because we ended on good terms, like it was all good, but we just realized that I was trying to change him. He was trying to change me, but we couldn't change one another. So we kind of just needed that time away from each other to change ourselves. But through that, like, I literally realized my power of love, and I realized my like power of magic. And the one argument we like always had in our relationship is about magic. Cause I was like, oh my God, this is so magical. Like, magic's real. And he's like, no, it's not. Like, that's not magic. Like, whatever. And then like, after we broke up, he's kind of like, yeah, no, like that was magical. You taught me magic. And I was like, yes. I was like, this is what I was supposed to get from it. I was like, it really sucked how it went down, but like, all right, cool. Like, you're showing me my power of love. And like, the thing is, like, I wasn't even like upset or mad or anything. And that was like 5 years. So, I mean, I was a little upset. Like, let's be real. Yeah. It was 5 years. But at the same time, like, it truly helped me see like my power of love, and like, love is my superpower. Smile is my weapon, and I'm on a mission of love. That's pretty much me in a nutshell. Yeah.
I love that. Smile is your weapon. It's nice. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it interesting too, how like, you know, certain relationships can like lock you into certain places, you know, like certain beliefs or certain, and also just like how important relationships and people are to the alchemy, right? Like to the change happening. It's like, cause just like you were saying, it's like you know, you heard my voice in your head. Like, it's like you called me into your life. And I 100% know I called you into my life, because literally, I told you this before. I like had this realization a few months ago. I was like, oh my God, I literally was calling Kasia into my life because I needed a yes woman. And I don't mean that as in
girl.
Yes or yes girl, but I don't mean that as in like someone who just, because I feel like that's a term for people who just say yes, but in a way of like, they just suck up or something. But it's not that. It's the opposite. It's like someone who is like F yes.
A hype woman.
Yeah. Like yes. Like any idea. It's like, yeah, let's do. Yeah, exactly. And it's so, you know, it's so rare. And I don't know if that's, I mean, everyone is unique, and you are certainly unique, but I mean, I feel so lucky to know someone like you and have someone like you in my life right now, because it's like, I can't remember a time that I've ever suggested something to you or asked something of you, like something I wanted to do or something I was interested in, that you were like, or like, no, or it was always just been like, all right, we're doing it. We're doing it.
After we get off the phone, I'm like, oh, shenanigans. What did I just sign up for? Like that improv class. You just called me like, hey, do you want to do improv? And I was like, yes, that sounds great. And then on the way to improv, and I was like, oh my Lanta, what did I sign myself up for? Like, I'm sweating. I'm going to lose some bricks on the way. Like, oh my God, like, what am I doing? But it would end up being one of the best experiences ever. So yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for being my like adventure ride or die.
Anytime. Yes, girl.
Yes, girl. Cool. Well, so you just inspired me to a new question that I want to ask all my guests.
Great.
What do you think your gift is?
Ooh, wow. I've been trying to figure that out myself.
You know at least one.
Well, honestly, definitely spreading my light and my love. Like I've been learning a lot about energy lately, and how like we interact with other people. Shout out to you for that book, Celestial Prophecies.
Celestine Prophecy.
Oh,
pretty close.
I'm Polish. I can't pronounce things.
It's
okay. But yeah, so I've been learning a lot about that, and realizing like how much I don't want to say control, influence I have of just me walking in a room and just like me being like 100% my authentic self. Like I realized, okay, so I've been trying to be really good with my morning routine. And like I have my little workout, I have my little gratitude prayer that I do every day in the shower, no matter what. I do my little like writing prompts, and then I have my little protective meditation. And I realized the days I don't do it and I would go into work, people would come up to me and be like, "What's wrong with you? You're not yourself today. Like something's off." And then I would like think about it, be like, "Oh crap. Like, yeah, I didn't get myself right today. Like I didn't make sure my energy's like set right for today." And like, it really does make a difference in the room. And then like, I know the days that I come in like a beaming light into work, everybody around me just has a smile on their face, and it makes the work day go by faster, and like everything just like runs smooth. So yeah, I definitely think my, positive attitude is 100% one of my gifts. Like, I trigger people to the point that they get angry with me with how positive I am. Like I have this one coworker, I don't think she's ever going to listen to this, but I won't say any names, but she used to get mad at me for greeting her and saying, "Good morning, sunshine." She would like literally be like, "Ugh." Like, "Oh my God, Kate, like what? Like, just leave me alone." I'd be like, "What? Like, it's a beautiful morning. Like, you're alive another day. Like, be grateful." You know what I mean? But we're getting there. Like, I'm realizing that, I call in a lot of lessons in my life with the people that I deal with, especially in like a workplace with that. So that are teaching me my superpowers. So yeah, positivity, definitely my superpower for sure. Yeah.
Just on that note, like as you were describing that, I was thinking about, when I was younger and I was like so moody and like I was clearly not at all, I didn't know about any of this stuff. Obviously I was young, but I was just so moody and like insecure. And my mom was like this super sunny person. And every morning she'd be like, "It's a like just like that. She'd be like, "It's a beautiful day." And she'd get like so excited. It is exactly as animated as this. "What are we going to do today?" And I would be like, exactly the way your coworker is. I would be like, "Why are you so happy?"
Yeah.
Because it bothered me and the reason why is because deep down I wanted to be happy and I didn't understand why she was so happy, and because I didn't feel I could be that. So I was like, "Stop, like come down here. Don't be so happy." And so it's interesting. It's just funny because I haven't thought of that in a while, how it's like, you know, when you really are in a bad place and someone's really genuinely happy around you, it triggers you. It makes you feel like really like, why can't I have that? So yeah. What about your art?
So, personal goal in the long run, I'm not sure how I'm going to get there, but I already planted the seeds, is I'm going to go down in history books and I'm going to be like the next, like Tony Robbins, like Bob Ross hybrid of Kasia. Like,
so that's not a next anything. That's a brand new being.
Yes.
Tony Robbins mixed with Bob Ross.
Yeah. So I'm just going to, exactly. Right.
I love it.
But,
so you're going to like paint and everyone's going to paint along with you while you're like like pumping them up for their day?
That would be cool. Yeah, I like that. Or just have like me and my one friend, you know, Alex. We were talking about things, and she's like really into she's more of the thinker, like the question asker. I just kind of like do things and I don't even like think about it. And she's the one that like questions it. So we were thinking about like making like our own like hybrid project of like me doing my art, kind of saying like a little, I don't know. I write sometimes too, but I haven't really shared it. But like my little excerpt of my feelings, and then her kind of like diving deep into it. So maybe like a book with that.
Oh, definitely books.
Yeah. But definitely some more of a Facebook Live of just me painting so people can watch me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think so. Kasia is like this incredible, when I was having like a really dark day when we first met, she like picked me up from my apartment, took me to her apartment, and
first day we met.
Yeah, that was the first day we actually met, and took me to her apartment and laid out this like sheet on her whole floor and brought out like every painting like color and utensil possible, and then like showed me how to paint. And she's this incredible painter. Actually, I'm looking at one of her paintings right now. It's on my desk, and everyone who comes into my apartment is like, "Who painted that?" And she's just really, really talented. But But yeah, like when she paints, it's like watching her is so therapeutic. It's just watching the brush, the way she paints is so amazing. So we've been talking about like, it would be really cool to start like a channel and just have Kasia paint, and just so you can just like watch her paint. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and I was definitely also thinking about I know like the paint and sip is like really big right now, but I was thinking about creating my own thing of instead of going to places, I'll come to you. So you gather your friends or whatever, let me know how many people, I'll set stuff up, and then we can just create something there.
You should do that. You should totally do that. But then have it like be like also have a spiritual element to it. Like it's called like art therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love it. You got to do it.
This is going to be spiritual. I'm going to do this. Yeah. I'll make it positive and spiritual.
Of course. Oh, it's such a great idea. I can totally see you doing that. That is awesome. Cool. Well, so I have another question that I ask everyone who's on this show, which is, what is one thing that you think every positive head would benefit from knowing as they continue on their own journey?
That's a good one. What's one thing that your body is your roadmap. So don't look for any answers outside of yourself, because everything's within, and it all starts with that self-love. So like once you fully accept and love yourself, things will literally magically fall into place. So as selfish as this might sound in our culture, but put yourself first, because the download I've been getting is you can't fill anybody else's cup if yours is empty. So fill your damn cup.
Fill your damn cup. That's a t-shirt. And great advice. Great advice for sure. I was actually talking to a friend who came out of, I had coffee with someone today who I haven't seen in like over 10 years at least. And they were talking about how they are really passionate about working at animal rescues, and how most people at animal rescues are like, they don't think that they need to spend any money on anything. Like it's just kind of like everyone is so super depleted, you know? And it's like this idea that like, that's the noble thing to do. It's like, give all your time and have no work-life balance and like give time to the animals, which of course is an amazing thing to do. But she and I were talking about how it's like, but how is that helping anyone? It's just another example of like the way we've been taught in our culture. It's like, you think it's the noble thing to do to just like run yourself into the ground and then like be miserable at work and be miserable for the animals that you're trying to help. And it's like, they need your vibes. Like they need your light. Exactly. It's like so important that you take care of yourself so you can come into work and like be vibrant for them. You know?
Self-care is so important. So important.
Yeah. What would you say to someone who's having trouble implementing self-care?
Well, I mean, I have those days myself sometimes. So take baby steps. Like don't be so hard on yourself. Like sometimes I know with myself, I overwhelm myself with like these ambitious goals and kind of like get so excited about things and so like ahead of myself. Like I forget to be in the moment and be in the now and like kind of like give my body the rest that it needs. So yeah, just baby steps, breathe. I recently learned that I don't know how to breathe correctly. So learn how to breathe. It will really help out a lot. Yeah. How
do you breathe?
Well, sometimes I forget to breathe, honestly. Yeah. I recently took this Kundalini yoga class, and I learned how to like fire breathe.
Oh yeah.
And that was really awesome. But yeah, then I was like talking to the I don't want to say the professor, the person that was like, instructor. Thank you. And I was like, sometimes I feel like I don't know how to breathe. And she's like, honey, you're not the only one. I've actually experienced that a lot. But I've been just trying to do like really like focus on it. And I do 3 seconds through my nose and then exhale, like a deep exhale, 4 seconds out my mouth. And then if I'm in a really bad mood, I kind of like run my finger from like in between my eyebrows to the tip of my nose and like pet myself a little bit, because it like tickles me and it brings a smile to my face. So like it instantly switches my mood.
Oh, I like that trick. That's such a good trick. That's such a good like little hack.
Yeah.
I'm doing it right now.
Like pissing me off at work a little bit, I just like take at least 3 deep breaths, and in between the deep breaths I think of something that I'm grateful for as I'm petting my nose, and it kind of like is like my little personal like reset real quick.
I like that. That's so fun to do. I can't stop doing it right now.
Right? It puts a smile on your face. Yeah. It just completely changes your mood.
Yeah, because it makes you, I do that to my dog. I like pet down my dogs, like between her eyes to her nose, and she likes it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, I'm taking that one with me. Cool. Well, so do you have anything else that you feel called to share before we start wrapping up? Any other, like you shared some in the beginning, but any like fun or inspiring manifestation stories or synchronicities that like blew your mind?
Actually, yeah. The other day, I decided to go on a little walk in the park, like I always do, and it kind of my gut taught me my own lesson of how I don't listen to myself and how I should listen to myself. So I'm like walking down this path that I always walk down, and I see, when I first park my car, I see these two girls. And like, I have this thing with people that like, I always see the same people, like just like wherever I go. So I see these two girls, and I distinctly remember them because I liked both of their outfits. So I was like, oh my God, if I like somehow walk by them, I need to compliment them on their outfit, because I do that all the time. I just stop strangers in the middle of their street and like compliment them on something. But so I'm just like walking or whatever, and then we somehow cross paths again, but they were like walking way in front of me. And then I looked down on the ground, and somebody's keys were on the ground. And I remember that there was like a blue keychain, and I'm like, should I pick them up? No, okay, I won't pick them up. I'm just going to leave them. But like, for some reason, I felt like it belonged to the girls. So then I kind of like go on the other side of the path, where I can still see where the spot was where the keys are, but I'm just like across the field from it. And I'm just like sitting there on my blanket, like writing something or doing whatever it is that I do in my own world. But the girls are coming back, and they actually stop me and start chatting with me. And they're like asking me if I know if there's like a lake around or something like that. So I like kind of like pointed them in the direction of a different park. And as I'm talking to them, these other two guys cross our paths, and they start talking to us because they're looking for a lake also. So we were chatting or whatever. And then like, I was still sitting there. The girls went like the other way. Then the girls went where the guys came from, and the guys went where the girls came from. So as the girls are walking away, I'm like looking at them, and like that voice in my head that was saying your name was telling me to call them and ask them if they lost their keys. And I was like, nah, why would I do that? Like, I'm not going to bother them, whatever. So I like kind of like let it go. And then I'm like doing my thing, like 15 minutes goes by, and the girls are coming back my way. And I was like, oh, they're looking for the keys. So they get closer to me. I was like, I'm sorry, girls. I was like, did you lose your keys? And they're like, oh my God, yes. How did you know? And I was like, is it like on a blue keychain? They're like, oh my God, that's creepy. Yes. Yeah. Like, how did you know what my keys look like? And I was like, I passed them. I was going to pick them up, but I didn't. So I was like, they're across the field. I was like, if they're not there, then the two guys we were talking to picked them up. So you should go find a ranger and ask the ranger. And that's literally what happened. The two other guys that we were talking to picked up the keys, dropped them off at the ranger.
Oh my God.
And like, wow. I just like literally just like watched the whole entire thing happen. And I was like thinking, I was like, wow, if I just would have listened to my gut the first time instead of the third time, I would have saved them a whole bunch of walking around in the park and stress. So yeah, life lesson, listen to your gut.
I like that.
I like all the messages. Yep.
I like that a lot. Yeah. It's so crazy. Like all the ways in which we just rationalize why it's like, no, it's also like, oh, I'm not going to like, I don't know what it is. It's like, I don't want to be wrong, or I don't want to bother these people, or
I don't want to bother these people. Exactly.
Yeah. And it's like, but you're helping them, you know? And it's awesome. I love that story. That's a really great example. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
So bottom line, be weird, bother people, be crazy. It's okay.
Be weird and bother people. Totally. No, I think it's an amazing message. I mean, we hear it a lot, but it can never be said enough. It's like, trust yourself. Like, just try it. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? And even in that example, if you were like, hey, are you looking for your keys? And they're like, no. And you're like, okay. Cool. Exactly. Yeah. Like, what happened? Nothing.
See you later.
But what could happen? You could realize that you know what's up.
Yep.
You know? Awesome. Well, Kasia, where can people get in touch with you if they want to connect with you or reach out, or they're like, I'm from Poland too?
Well, my Instagram, Kasia_create. We can put it in the show notes or whatever, but mostly that you can find me on Facebook also, but I'm mostly on Instagram. It's still under construction. I'm still figuring out my art ways, but yeah, if you need a positive pep talk, or you just want to say hi, or I don't know, you want a pretty picture or something, hit me up. I'm your girl.
Yeah, definitely hit her up for pretty pictures for sure. Awesome.
Something that brings you joy.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, Kasia, thank you so much for coming on here and spreading your light and sharing your love. And you're awesome. Woo! I just saw crazy lightning outside my window. That was for you. Lights. Yeah, I love you so much. And have a great, beautiful night.
Thanks. Yes. Thank you for having me here. This was so exciting. Yes. Love you too. Love you all. Thanks.
Second podcast down.
Right? Third one's going to be my own. No,
yes. Hell yeah.
Oh, seed planted. Okay.
There you go. Bye.
Bye.
That's it for this week's episode. If you're a listener with a story to share and are interested in being featured on a future episode of this special series, you can email me at alexa@positivehead.com. Also, if you're craving more consciousness elevating content, be sure to check out Gaia, which is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content on the web, where you can stream an incredible 7,000 plus exclusive videos covering 5,000 years of wisdom. As you all hear Brandon constantly say, it's a daily conscious effort to maintain an elevated vibration. And if you're looking to journey deep down the rabbit hole to do so, then Gaia is the best place we know of to do it. Period. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out. Otherwise, tune in next Friday for another HeAd Posse episode. And until then, as Brandon always says, journey well.